have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Double A Squad, what is good? It's Ryan. It's Kelly.
Creme.
Creme
brulee.
The creme.
I want to be known as creme.
The creme.
Moving forward.
The creme de la creme.
There it is.
Yes. Yeah, we were workshopping new nickname ideas for Kelly.
Creme brulee.
I described him as a creme brulee because under the crusty exterior is just a gooey vanilla custard of a man.
Gooey, yes. Don't know about the rest.
Yeah. Now we were talking about how he's a little crusty on the outside. You know, maybe not as approachable as he used to be as a young man. You know, he's a crusty old man, but once you get past that hard, crystallized candy exterior, he's just full of soft custard.
It's kind of a Tootsie Pop, you know? Kind of a Tootsie Pop. You got the hard outer and then a little gum on the inside. Yeah. How many licks does it take?
That is a question only one person can answer.
You ain't lying. Welcome.
Hey yo!
Great start.
Yeah, it's awesome as always.
Solid.
Yeah, we got a big show for you today. There was a ton of stuff that happened over the course of the last day, 24 hours. You know, it's 24 hours in a day. You know, most of it happening within the NFL realm of things, which is good for us because that's what we like to talk about. So we'll be talking about some trades that went down, some signings that happened, some retirements that happened just over the course of the last 24 hours. We're going to get into what else was on my list, Kelly. I probably should have had this. The NBA Finals. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yep.
We're going to talk a little bit about Kelly's come up with a list of questions about college football that could be you guys could take with you to the bar and ask your friends, I think.
Yeah, I think it'd generate great discussion.
These are all Kelly's questions, too. They're not AI generated. These are all ones he sat down, he typed them out.
Yes, I did.
Sent them to me and said, hey, can you read this? And I said, yes, because I'm not 1,000 years old.
Picture quality was everything. Didn't know how well the picture quality came through.
Yeah, came through as a PDF, so we were good.
These are things that we've talked about, but I just wanted to put it all together and get your analysis on it.
And then finally, Kelly's got a couple of random questions that he's kind of been wanting to ask. One about the Royals and another one about
the Spurs, man.
Well, no, the Spurs we'll get into with the NBA Finals, but you were talking about a question about can you vindictively trade someone to a team to just ruin their culture?
I look forward to your answer on that because that has occupied a lot of headspace in the last 24 hours.
Not a lot of space in there either.
Not a lot. Yeah. Not a lot right now.
Yeah. How was your week, though?
Walk lightly, Ryan.
Yeah.
Tread lightly around me.
Tread carefully.
Yeah. Week's good.
Yeah.
Week's solid.
Yeah. You get the kids everywhere they need to go. Feel like things are slowing down a little bit.
I got one leaving Thursday.
Yeah.
Gonna report in. Do a little working out with the team.
Okay.
Oldest daughter's working for the summer, and then she'll be taken off to college. But life is slowing down. State track. Just got done with state track. Okay. Shout out to the Rangers. Great finish for the Rangers. The boys team took third overall at state. Girls, I think, hovered around 10-11. But good success there. Good stuff.
Good.
Always, it's fascinating, Ryan. It's fascinating. I've been out of high school for a minute, and I do not remember such exceptional athletes during my time. I mean, there were people that were good. There were people that caught your eye, but sitting there and watching these competitions, and it's all classes. It's Class B, A, AA. It's all classes. Watching some of these kids, 1, how they look, 2, how they compete, 3, just jaw-dropping performances in so many different events, and it's like, good Lord, did people like you exist back? Everybody hates it, but back in my day, did people like you exist back in my day? I don't know. I sure as shit wasn't one of them, but it's fascinating. Yeah. Just you hear the gun sound and you watch somebody like they're shot out of a cannon. It's like, man, I don't remember people being that fast. And this is high school, and this is South Dakota, and this is but it's amazing.
I think my dad and I were talking about this. It might have been along the lines of a Wembanyama conversation. Where people just get bigger, taller, stronger, faster. It just gets better. Like people just get better at the craft because you spend more time and it becomes more of a priority, right? Like the reason Europe is so good at soccer is because they send these kids off to soccer schools at like the age of 10 and they just prioritize playing soccer, right? So by the time they're 17 years old, they've played more soccer than most people in the world have played in their entire lives.
And they're fundamentally sound.
So then it always raises the question of like, okay, if Larry Bird played in today's game, or if Wilt Chamberlain wasn't playing against a bunch of concrete workers and plumbers at the time, would he still be regarded as one of the best basketball players of all time?
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
He was playing against a bunch of, 5'11" white guys that had regular jobs. We're talking about with Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, amazing talent for his time, but is he anything compared to what Shohei is doing today?
Right.
And that's always going to be a question that we'll never be able to answer because you can't transplant these people from different generations. It's the same conversation people have all the time with Jordan and LeBron. Had LeBron played in the 90s or had Jordan played it today, would things still match up, right? But I do think you can look at it progressively and go, all right, Roger Staubach, great quarterback for his time, but he's nowhere near what Patrick Mahomes is doing today.
Right.
Yeah. You can appreciate it for who they were at the time, but things are always getting better.
Yep.
We were having a conversation yesterday, and we'll get into it, but Myles Garrett. He's like a one of one.
No.
Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, also a one of one.
Yes.
There's just guys that you see that you're like, I don't know if I'll ever see anything like that again.
And then you do. Right?
But then maybe I'm 60 years old and things have progressed so much.
Right. And like we said, they're still playing.
The science gets better. The training gets better. The food gets better. The understanding of how to maximize the body. And then you put that into the mind of someone that has no quit, that has that Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality of like, I am going to be the best no matter what it takes. I think there's still going to be a ton of things that we're going to see in the future that we're going to be like, there's no possible way that it could have got any better than that. And,
man.
I never thought I'd see anybody like Wembanyama, where you're 7'6", moving like a point guard, shooting threes, playing defense the way that he does. I mean, it's insane what you're able to see him do on a court.
Yeah.
And he just looks weird out there because he's just so big.
Well, he looks weird because he wears a 20.5 shoe size. Can you imagine a 20.5 shoe size? Because
is that true? Is that what it is?
It is true. 20.5.
It's a 20.5?
Yeah, he's 20.5. My wife made me look it up because we were watching one of the games when they were playing the Thunder. And he was lined up for a free throw or whatever, and he'd stand on the edge of the brain fart. Anyway, he's standing there waiting for a free throw.
At the free throw line?
No, he's not at the free throw line. He's in the blocks, so whatever they're called. Outside the paint, whatever. Lane, that's it. Lane. He's outside the lane. He's outside. Wow. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Armchair Authority.
There you go.
So anyway, he's lined up there, and they kind of hover the camera over legs, feet, and the whole thing. And my wife is just like, "Holy crap! Like, what size shoe is he wearing?" Because even on him being 7 foot, whatever.
Yeah.
His shoe size looked tremendous, and he's got those skinny little getaway sticks anyway. But so I looked it up, and it was 20.5. Like, can you imagine 20.5? Oh, we did this.
Oh, you did?
We did Shaq, we did LeBron, we did Jordan, we did all of them.
Okay,
because
so you went through it. Yeah.
This generated a whole.
Shaq was a 22.
Yeah.
And you said Wemby was a
20.5.
Oh, wow.
20.5. And I'm going to go with U.S. on that.
Yeah.
Not U.K.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with U.S.
UK would have been a 56.
Go ahead, type it in. See if I was right.
What, Wemby?
Yeah, Wemby. Wemby shoe size. There it is, right there at the top.
Wow. Yeah, 20 and a half.
There it is.
That's crazy.
Yep. Oh, what's this?
What's that?
Continued to grow after ending the NBA with his shoe size increasing from a 20 and a half to a 22.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Well, his feet are growing, like his ears and nose. Holy. So now he's a 22.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah.
Look at those.
Can you imagine that?
Yuck.
Can you imagine that? I want you to put a size 20 on your feet and see what you look like.
No way. No way. I imagine that when he changes the tires on his car, they just take the rubber and turn it into a shoe for him.
Likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 for 1. Really
hell, you might as
money
well
on
just
that.
wear the box.
For real.
That's incredible.
nuts.
But yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah. Circling all the way back, it's fascinating because it's you mentioned mental, and I think track and field is huge mental.
Oh yeah.
You know, and a lot of people are like, God, how can you sit there during a track and field event, much less 3 days of them at state track? But you just watch all these kids compete, and then there's heartache. I mean, there's heartache in it where you've got a kid or you know somebody that's competing in a certain heat or flight or whatever, but you know good, right? You know who the good kid is in that heat or the good kids are in that heat, and then you watch a kid jump and false start in the prelims of like a hurdle event, and he's the number 2 ranked kid in the state, and he jumps, he false starts the prelim, DQ'd, man. His state track meet's over for that event, and he's number 2 ranked.
That's got to be a rule they got to change.
Well, see, and we're sitting there
because I was watching a video the other day where one guy, he ran the entire relay or the entire race by himself because everybody false started and got DQ'd.
Yeah.
Number one, how is that fun for him? Number 2, you got all these people that travel from all over the place to come watch. And because of one itty-bitty tiny mistake, like, you get 2 serves in tennis.
Yeah.
You get one fault, then you get to redo it. If you don't do it, then you lose your opportunity. Why? I mean,
I get it.
And I'm sure some track nut would be out there, well, then it's a disadvantage for everybody else that actually did what they were supposed to on it, and yada, 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 and all the other stuff. But they still don't run the race. They still make you restart, right?
Well, right. And in the grand scheme of things, this was a 300-meter hurdle event.
Yeah.
And his shoulders started to come up before the gun sounded. Was he completely out of the blocks? No. Had his fingers lifted off the ground? Barely.
Yeah.
But he got a start ahead of everybody else. But it's 300 meters, Ryan. Like, you were running 2/3 of this freaking track, right?
And what good does it serve to DQ a high school track athlete?
Well, and the worst of it is, not necessarily the worst of it, but there's two sides to it, obviously, because my kid's competing in it. Right? So I obviously want to see my kid do well. And if the number 2 kid gets DQ'd, there's a part of me that's like, ooh, there's one down.
Sure, yeah.
Don't have to worry about him. But the second time, this kid's legit. And he's good. And he's fun to watch run. You know, and all of a sudden, bang. And then bang, the second bang. And it's like, oh, DQ'd. And the kid immediately put his hands on his head. He knew. The officials walk over. They have this real awkward, uncomfortable, like, draw all the attention to this one kid. And he's already feeling bad.
Yeah.
You know, and day's over, event's over, and being the number 2 kid, he's fun to watch run.
Yeah,
you know,
I just don't understand.
You always want your kids. You want your kids to compete against the best, right?
Yeah.
You don't want the sleepers. We talk about it in college football all the time. Get rid of these school of the blind games. Go play competition. Go do that. Play against the best.
Yeah.
Same thing with track. Run against the best. You want to get better? Then run against the best competition. And to watch him go down like that and just have the event over for him,
that's lame.
And
it goes into what we'll talk about with one of the questions you have about college football. But, like, what's the harm in just letting it and trying it again? If he false starts for a second time, then he's DQ'd.
Well, you get 5 fouls in basketball. You get 3 strikes in baseball. You get, you can throw everything out there that you want.
Because to your point, it doesn't do anybody else any good for him not to. Like, you want to say that you competed against the best, and that way you can see where you stack up. There's nothing better than going up against a team or a person in a sport, and then win or lose, you walk out of there going, we're not that far behind.
Right.
You know? I mean, even if you're a fan of your team, I mean, how many times over the course of your Chiefs fandom have you gone up against, maybe it was during the Patriots era and you guys played the Tom Brady New England Patriots really close, or you actually beat them, and you're like, we got a chance here. Like, we're not as far behind as we thought we were.
Right.
And then now you just don't even get that opportunity.
Right. So, and then you're also talking about a 17, 18-year-old kid who's a senior.
Yeah.
Who his track career is over after this weekend. His track career in high school is officially over.
Yeah.
And that's what he gets to remember.
Yeah. I just don't think it's...
I was ranked number 2 I jumped a little bit ahead of the gun, and that's how it's going to end for me.
Yeah, it just doesn't serve a greater purpose, in my opinion.
I don't know. I just wanted to see the kid.
If he's a professional qualifying for the Olympics, then yeah, sure. But there should be a high school rule where you don't get to end your state run because of one false start.
I don't know. But on the other side of that, Ryan, the other side of that, people are going to watch him false start. They're going to let him go, right? He wins the damn thing. And then you're going to have the people, well, he false started.
Oh, no.
Why was he allowed?
No,
I understand what you're saying, but you're going to have those people too.
I'm talking about like false starts, everybody restarts.
Yeah.
And then you go again.
Yep.
And then it's like it never happened.
Right. I don't know.
But you're going to have that in every single. You're going to have somebody that's going to cry foul or something oh, well, what if you play a game of what ifs? And it's like, okay. What if he didn't false start the first time?
Yes.
And still beat you?
I just wanted to see him run.
Yeah.
He got DQ'd. Number 2 got DQ'd. The number 5 kid fell.
Yeah.
With 3 hurdles to go.
And you're not even going to think about it a week later. You'll be upset about it in the moment. You'll move on. I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I think there's a lot of weird things in youth sport. There was another thing I watched this week where.
Is this the baseball kid?
Yeah, the 11U
that whipped the ball into the dugout.
The coach told him to whip the ball into the dugout.
I don't know.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, he's the coach's son.
Correct.
And they cracked down on him. The coach has a lifetime ban.
Yep.
And the kid got a ban for 3 years.
Yep. 11U.
Dude, I was watching somebody had a comment about like the coach should probably serve some sort of like time or something like that, because if he's doing that, like he's just going to go coach something else and be a complete jackwagon in another sport.
Yeah.
And that's not my opinion. That came from the video I was watching, but it was a lot of good points where if this is what he's doing in 11U baseball.
In public, in front of everyone, with an audience. What's he doing when he's not being observed? Yeah.
And his son is just like, has no moral compass whatsoever.
Yeah.
To be like, Dad, that's not the right, I'm not going to do that. Without hesitation, he just whips a 80-mile-an-hour fastball into a dugout?
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
You hope and pray that doesn't hit a kid. Because then you got assault charges and all sorts of other stuff. And, I mean, holy cow.
Well, say it's your kid in the dugout who gets hit by that 80-mile-an-hour fastball.
Gosh,
what happens then? Now you got a big old mess.
Then I'm probably going to jail for assault.
Well, that's what I mean. There's only a few things that would keep you behind the fence, but stuff like that will bring you around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It might bring me over it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many bad things in youth sports, and just that was like the pinnacle of like, what are we doing?
Well, you can.
When did we lose sight of the goal? Right? Like, this is 11U travel baseball. These are 11-year-olds, 11, 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing. We're treating this like it's some sort of make or break situation where you have to throw an 80-mile-an-hour ball at somebody's head sitting in a dugout.
Yeah. Yeah.
The repercussions of that are so astronomical.
Yeah.
I mean, and I tend to be the person that's kind of like worst case scenario type of thing. But what if it did? What if one kid, as kids do, I have a nephew who's 10 playing travel baseball.
Yeah.
He loves playing, but I guarantee you, I've been in those dugouts too. They're not always paying attention to what the hell's going on on the field.
They're throwing seeds in their mouth and they take an 80-miler.
How many times were you told growing up, quit playing grab ass and pay attention to what's going on in the game?
Daily.
Okay.
All the time.
So some kid's playing grab ass in the dugout, takes an 80-mile-an-hour baseball off the side of the head because he's not paying attention.
Right.
Because he never in a million years thought the baseball would come from that angle. Dude.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
I know I'm not. I'm just like, I just kind of want to sit in that for a minute because it's like, this is so stupid. Like, when did it become more about, I don't even know what that's about.
But how far did you read in the comments on whatever you were watching?
Oh, I didn't read the comments.
Read the comments.
I'm sure it was full
It didn't hit anybody, Ryan. What's the big deal?
Oh, my gosh.
He got his penalty. He got banned. Dad got banned. It didn't hit anybody. What's the big deal?
I don't know. That's one of those things.
It's an emotional game, right? It's an emotional game, and he doesn't know how to regulate his emotions yet.
If I was his manager or his boss, I'd bring him to the office and be like, I can't trust your judgment on anything after seeing what just happened here.
Yeah, right.
We're going to have to let you go.
Right.
Like, this trickles down more than just baseball. Like,
I know, but people make excuses for it. That's the sad reality of it.
When it comes to kids and their safety, there's no excuse.
There is. Read them.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse good enough.
I'm with you.
That makes no sense.
I'm with you.
I can't even. And this.
How many times did you watch it?
Oh, probably 10 times. Because I'm like, Because I'm like, I can't.
Because you couldn't wrap your head around
I
it.
can't. And my mom has always told me this too, because my brother kind of operates in a different atmosphere than I do, as far as like his decision making and some other things that he does and whatever else. And I mean, we're two people who view life differently, and that's fine.
Sure.
But he'll do stuff, or he'll say something, or he and I will get in an argument, and then my mom goes, you can't see it from his point of view because you're just not wired that way. And so I'll sit there in it, and I'll try to understand how somebody could come to that decision. And I'm not saying he's ever made any decision, and this goes for anybody, but I'm just using family as an example because we've all got that one person where we're like, why would you do that?
Yep.
This is a situation for me where I'm like, I can't even pretend to come up with a good enough excuse to tell my 11-year-old son who plays travel baseball to throw an 80-mile-an-hour fastball at the dugout.
Yeah.
What message does that send? What point does it prove? I don't even get it. I can get it if you tell him to throw it at the batter, because that's kind of like within the baseball logic of what I understand and how long I've been playing the game and watching it and being a part of it. That I get. I don't understand that. Somebody's going to have to take me aside and explain that to me like I'm a 5-year-old as to why you would even consider that type of action.
Yeah. When I was a much younger lad, just getting started in the career that I'm still kind of in, right? It was a little bit different venue when I first got started. But somebody really smart said, if you're going to survive in this line of work, never ask the question why. The question why. Don't ask why. When somebody says something, somebody does something, whatever, the population of people that you're going to work with, never ask the question why.
Yeah.
Because they can give you an honest-to-God answer, and based on the way you're wired and based on how you look at things, it will never make sense to you. So don't ever ask why.
That's fair.
So kind of falls right in line with this, because you're watching it 10 times because you can't get your head wrapped around it. And you're like, my kid wouldn't do that. I would never instruct a kid to do that. I couldn't be a part of that. I don't want to be.
Yeah.
It's such a shock to you
that
it will never make sense. And regardless of what you read for comments will just piss you off.
Oh, yeah.
If you read through them, they will just piss you off.
Yeah.
But
unless I know what to expect, I usually avoid it.
Why will never get answered.
Yeah.
Because what you see as the way that you're going to navigate your life and the way that you're going to handle certain situations will never jive with that.
Yeah.
But there are some that jive that way, and that is coming out more and more in youth sports. So to answer your question, what the hell's up with youth sports? You can go to Instagram or any social media and you can find little youth football games and all that stuff where parents are in fistfights. Like parents on the sidelines are in fistfights, or they're throwing shit on the field, or they're doing whatever. And I mean, it's just, how many basketball games, how many traveling basketball games of these little boppers out there doing whatever, when a kid puts a good move on somebody and the defender falls to the floor and everybody's like, whoa, yeah. And all of a sudden the parents are fighting.
Yeah.
Or stuff's coming on the court or whatever. Yeah. The youth sports thing is youth sports gone completely wild, man.
I mean, it's like, it's this combination, combination, whatever you want to call it, of the parents living vicariously through their kids because they either didn't have the opportunity to do it when they were younger, or they got injured, or whatever happened. So now they're living through their kids' moment. And then it's also a combination of what kids are seeing through social media.
Correct.
And how they're attaching themselves to professional players who act like jackwagons as well.
Correct.
So while I think my brain can wrap around it when it's adults doing moves like that. It's recently Western Conference Finals game 5, I think it was. The Spurs were getting blown out, but for some reason OKC left their starters in, and as Wemby gets pulled, he's telling his guys, foul the shit out of these guys.
Yeah.
Foul them hard. If they're going to stay in here, you foul them hard, and that's what they did. They went in there, and they were putting elbows into backs, and they were putting these guys down.
Yeah. I
can understand that. I have been on this show, and people can call me out, where I said I get tired of the Patrick Mahomes tiptoeing down the sideline because nobody wants to hit him.
And I'm a Chiefs fan, and I say knock his ass out.
Knock his shoes off his damn feet.
If he's going to do that,
yes.
If he's going to do that,
yes.
Embrace the suck, take the penalty, and put one where it matters.
Correct.
Yep.
100%.
And I supported that.
That stuff I can wrap my head around.
Yep.
Number one, because they're adults. Number two, because they're making a living. A very good living at playing a child's sport.
Yes.
You know the risk. All of those things.
Yep.
Right? The thing I don't get is putting children in danger of ending a life, of altering a life, there are so many different ways that could have gone for the kid who threw the ball, for somebody sitting in the dugout. I mean, It's the same conversation we've had with people that we used to work with, where it's like, you think this is a victimless crime, that you doing this doesn't affect anybody but you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through the 20 people that were involved after you made the decision.
Yeah, let's sit
This
down.
is that right here.
Let's identify the ripple effect and everybody that's in a ripple.
And we had no intention of even talking about this subject, but I think it's incredible because I think there's just such good discourse around it. Because it just doesn't make any sense in my mind, and it's just something you don't see every day, especially at that level.
Yeah.
And how an adult can condone that action from their own child.
Ask for it to happen.
That's a lot to ask of your own child.
Correct. And to your point, he doesn't think twice about the consequence.
No.
He doesn't think twice about even
Dad
second
told me
guessing.
to do it, so I'm going to do it.
Exactly. So what's pre-wired into that kid? Like
the same shit that is pre-wired into dad that thinks it's okay to tell his son to throw an 80-mile-an-hour ball into a
totally
dugout.
programmed, right?
Yeah.
You have to assume that he's totally programmed.
There's nature and nurture, and I think that probably falls right in the line of both. I think it's...
Man. I watched it more than 10
I'm not
times.
telling people how to parent their kids, but don't do that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Oof.
Yeah.
I watched it way more than 10 times.
Did you? Yeah.
And then I got in comments and I got all up in my feels because then I didn't like what I was reading.
Yeah. You imagine if that was your son pitching and his coach told him to do that? Like, let's just kind of like, your son's pitching, but the coach isn't you, it's somebody else. And for some reason, he had enough influence on your son to convince him to throw that ball in there.
I am confident. I am very confident my son would not have made that throw.
Right, but I'm just saying in a world where there's enough influence, like there's enough of a relationship there where your son trusts the coach enough to be like, all right, I guess whatever this is supposed to do.
Okay, I'm going to try to take a proactive approach, and I'm going to say I'm going to see that character in that coach before that game even happens. Like even when practices start, I'm going to see something bad in his character to the point where I might just tell my kid,
you don't even want to get into the minutia of your kid potentially even doing that. Like having the thought is even something that you can't even wrap your head around.
I would be so ashamed of him. I would be so ashamed of me as a parent because that is a direct freaking reflection of me.
I'm beating the coach's ass, and then I'm pulling my kid off and I'm beating his ass.
Yeah, if I hear a coach yell that to my kid, hey, turn and zip that 80-mile-an-hour into that dugout and shut him up.
Yeah.
That's one where you come over the fence.
Yeah.
That around it, under it, over it, through it, whatever.
There's multiple people going to the
big problem there. Yeah. There's a big problem. Baseball is the last thing getting played on that field.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you.
I went to what was it? I went to a boxing match and a baseball game broke out.
Yeah. Oh, there's Kelly talking tough again. No, put me in that situation. Let me see that happen.
Yeah.
Let my kid be the one putting seeds in his mouth when that ball comes zipping into the dugout.
Yeah, when it comes to kids, I mean, imagine being on the other side of that, where your kid's just minding his own business and a ball comes zipping by his head. I mean, how are you as a parent not just enraged at that?
Oh man, have you ever been to a Little League baseball game just here locally?
Yeah.
Go watch a game sometime between Harney and Canyon Lake.
Yeah.
And they can be 10-year-olds, right? Go watch a game and watch the behavior of the audience.
Go watch a D-League beer league softball game down here at Star of the West and watch somebody that is way in over their head try to run bases and somebody lose their mind over base running and flip out about it.
Yeah. I know. Go watch one of these little kids games between competing leagues.
Yeah.
And watch the kids on the field can be a little bit not real impressed.
Yeah.
But the behavior of the people sitting behind the fences in the stands who are supposed to be clapping and cheering and encouraging, and this is competitive, and my kids are learning fundamentals. They're learning how to compete. They're learning how to be a good sport. They're learning, the sign that's there about nobody's getting a scholarship today and be kind to the officials and all that stuff. Yeah, tear those down. Yeah, just go spectate one of those because I unfortunately got roped into umping one of those games where I was the field ump, and the said manager who said, hey, we had an ump who had to step away. Kelly, would you come in and ump this game? And I'm like, sure, I'll go ump the field. Yeah, no problem. Never told me it was a league championship game between these two. Had no knowledge until I got to the field and I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? So now I'm that guy out in the field. And I had call after call, bang, bang plays, Kid sliding into second. Tag was too high. Kid's feet were on the bag first. And this dugout erupts.
You're always put in the worst
It
situation
was
possible.
insanity. I had people making comments to me, walk into the parking lot, and I am not making this up. I am not exaggerating this. I had people making comments. I had people stink-eyeing me. I was looking over my shoulder worse than I would if I walked through a maximum security prison where nobody was behind bars.
Yeah.
It would be like, what's going to happen?
Never
here?
mind the 800 things that happened before that call.
Correct.
And this was the same story I think I told last year about I was in church league. We have to volunteer to ump, and so because we don't pay umpires to show up, so you ump other games throughout the week. So if you play on Tuesdays, you ump Sundays, right? So I volunteered to ump a Sunday, and there was one incident where it's a 55-minute game, and once it hits 55 minutes, you finish the inning and it's over, right?
Yep.
And so one team is up, the other one's down, and clock's ticking down, and the only person that knows the time is me because we don't have a scoreboard out in the field that has a time. There's nothing else that tells it. It's just me and my watch. And they're like, how much time is left? And I'm like, you got about 15 seconds from what I can see. And so one pitch goes, and then they throw it back, and the other pitch goes, and I was looking at my watch, and when I looked up from the watch, the ball came out. Ball was hit into play, yada, yada, inning continues, or whatever.
Yep.
Right? So they didn't score enough or whatever. It was enough to get the out and then continue the next inning because we were still tied or something like that. And so then the whole discrepancy came whether or not time had actually ran out. Did they actually get the pitch off? All this other stuff. Yada,
now
yada.
time matters.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the 4 double plays that you missed or the fact that you guys left the bases loaded 3 times.
No, that one play made a difference in the game, Ryan.
That
it did.
thing.
It's like a PI late in the fourth quarter where the Chiefs have been playing like complete dog ass the whole time.
Yeah.
But, that one PI, that determined the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's intensity all over the place. And I think if we can get back to a place of this is for fun, fellowship, or it's in the case of the kids, it's for development. I think baseball is an incredible sport to put your kids in if you want them to learn about life.
Yeah.
Because I always tell people, get your kids in baseball because you're going to fail 90% of the time. Yeah. It's going to teach you how to deal with failure.
Yes. And you're going to deal with the little ones that are digging holes and they're chasing butterflies or they're trying to pick up grasshoppers.
And don't coach baseball, especially little kids baseball, if you don't have enough patience. We talked about patience last week. If you don't have enough of that, you don't be involved in that because it's going to be one of those things where your right fielder's playing with butterflies and doesn't know where his glove is.
Right. And you know me, I hold on to things forever, right?
Yeah.
I the only advice I'll give to somebody if they're considering coaching, please put your kids in fair territory.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't line them up in foul territory where your third baseman is, over there in the coaching box and put them in fair territory. Let's have them really be a part of the game. Yeah. But I hold on to shit. So, you know me.
It's all good.
Anyway, where the hell did we start? We're
gonna start with what happened in the NFL yesterday.
Let's
we'll
do it
over into there because there was a ton of stuff that happened. I guess the most notable thing would be the massive trade that happened. I wanted to play a joke and be like the biggest news, and then talk about how Russell Wilson went to CBS.
It's spicy.
It's so spicy.
It's spicy.
I love how he's like, I want to come across that video organically. It's great. Anyway, so Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Reigning Defensive Player of the Year.
Correct. Brand new contract.
Just set the record for most sacks in a single season.
Yes.
There have been trade rumors the last couple of years that the Browns are looking to blah, blah, blah. They're going to get rid of him. They're going to trade him. Nothing ever comes of it. It's kind of it's the yearly cycle, right? We go through who wins the Super Bowl, and then we kind of talk about, the team that won it and what are their chances for next year. And then we go into the Aaron Rodgers saga of whether or not he's going to come back and he'll go into his darkness retreat. And then we'll talk about the draft, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Aaron Rodgers again. And then it'll be like, all right, these are like the 3 big names that could get traded. And because Myles Garrett's the best player on planet Earth, but he's stuck in Cleveland, he's going to get traded, and then it never happens. And then yesterday, Kelly, it finally happened. The news broke. Schefter tweeted about it, so you knew it was legit. You knew something was going to come through. Yeah. Imagine having that kind of credibility. Something comes out of your mouth or out of your thumbs onto your Twitter feed, and it's just treated as gospel.
Yeah, no, that's never going to happen. That's not going to happen. But Schefter has it.
But Schefter released the information, and within a couple hours later, it was confirmed that the Cleveland Browns were trading Myles Garrett, defensive end, to Kelly, the Los Angeles Rams, as if Los Angeles doesn't have enough firepower over there already, and I'm not talking about just football. So they trade Garrett to the Rams, and the Rams, in return, give the Cleveland Browns Jared Verse, who is a very solid linebacker.
Very good.
I think he's a 2-time Pro Bowler. I think he's only been in the league for 3 or 4 years or something to that effect. They also get a 27 first-rounder, a 28 second-rounder, and a 29 third-rounder.
Yes.
So, Verse was the only other first-round pick the Rams had used over the course of the last, 10 years, minus the one that they just used to pick up the quarterback. Who was it? Ty Simpson. Thank you for the help on that.
You're welcome.
And now that first-round pick is gone. So, which isn't a bad deal considering you can basically swap that first-round pick for Myles Garrett, who is who he is.
Every year, Myles Garrett's going to get traded. Nope, Cleveland's not going to trade it. Myles Garrett wants to be traded. He's going to hold out.
He had a no-trade clause in his contract.
It's a Netflix documentary waiting to happen.
No trade clause in his contract, so he waived it. His new contract with L.A. has the no-trade clause back in it.
Yep.
So, he can't just be traded willy-nilly. What were your thoughts, reactions when news broke yesterday?
I think that is a win-win trade.
Okay.
Oftentimes you see people say, so-and-so fleeced, this team fleeced this team, this team fleeced this team. I think it was a win-win trade.
Okay.
I think if you're one of the people that sit back and say Myles Garrett was rotting away in Cleveland, you're right. You're not wrong. If you say that the Rams, who were my proposed 1 seed coming into this season, if you say the Rams just got significantly better, you're not wrong. If you're saying that the compensation that Cleveland is going to pick up, if they can right the ship and they can make some good decisions and do whatever with the draft picks and a very good player, Cleveland got better. Yeah. You're not wrong there. Yeah. I think it's a win-win trade. I think both parties come out. And we've seen with the Rams, they've made some trades where people sat back and like, oh my God, the Rams gave up too much. What are they thinking? They've never allowed themselves to be bad. They've always recovered from all of this stuff. They're a well-run organization. They did well with what they did. They didn't have the fall off that everybody thought they were going to have over the Stafford trade. They didn't Todd Gurley, any of that stuff. They didn't have that fall off. I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, they've done a great job with talent evaluation and being able to plug and play those players that.
And if I'm Brock Purdy right now, I'm not happy.
That Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold.
I'm not happy about that.
Yeah.
Because I mean
Joe Burrow's throwing a party at his house tonight.
But you know he is. So is Aaron.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Joe was about to have to go up against. I mean, at one point it was going to be Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
That he was going to have to face all of those guys twice a year.
Yeah.
And now Max Crosby thing, the physical didn't go through. Obviously, Myles Garrett's gone now unless his physical for some reason doesn't pass, which I highly doubt it. So. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a win-win.
AFC North got a lot lighter, that's for sure.
I think it was a great trade.
But
good for the Rams.
Yeah, but I mean, the Rams, now from last year, they've got the passing leader, passing touchdowns leader, receptions leader, receiving touchdowns leader, sack leader, and it's one of the very few times that both the NFL MVP and the NFL Defensive Player of the Year are on the same team starting the following year.
So we saw McVay, right? McVay was he looked to be pretty upset with the whole Ty Simpson draft.
Supposedly.
He looked like he was upset.
Yeah. Body language said one thing.
Is he still upset?
Oh, no.
Has he gotten over it pretty quickly, like within the last 24 hours?
I think he'll be okay.
I would say he's all smiles at this point.
Yeah. It still makes you wonder, does this add more validity to the Ty Simpson draft now? Because they're kind of in win now mode, and now they're going to reset here. Because you have to imagine, at least I would think, is this setting up a scenario where the Rams win a Super Bowl and then Stafford rides off into the sunset?
Possible.
Right?
Yep.
Does that kind of maybe fuel the fire there a little bit? I don't know.
And then what if what we were joking about becomes a reality and Aaron Donald comes out of retirement?
I know that he said he doesn't want to, but I mean, he's been gone for 3 years. But the man, listen, I was thinking about this as we were talking about it in the group chat yesterday.
It came up on Twitter today.
I'm sure it did.
Him working out and doing whatever, and it came up today. So you sent out the Instagram thing from however many weeks ago. We started kind of joking
4 days
about
ago.
it. Right, from joking about it. And all of a sudden on Twitter, he's posting his videos now. He's putting them up.
Yeah.
It's not totally unrealistic that he does. Because, I mean, look at what you're coming back to.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's not like you're taking over a rebuild, right? You're coming into something where you've got some dudes around you.
The only thing that I kept thinking about yesterday was, while I agree with the concept of you don't just jump back in and be effective after 3 years, I kept thinking, yeah, but all he's got to do is throw grown men around and get after the quarterback and find the football, wherever that's at, and tackle that guy.
And he's a one-of-one guy. If you're looking at
and I agreed with what you said, where you're like, even at 70 to 80% of what he was from 3 years ago, he's still better than 75% of the league out there.
I believe that. Yes.
So, I would take a flyer on it. I mean, what do you got to lose?
Well, he removed himself.
Yeah.
With no major injury.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of medical reasons. Yeah. It wasn't because of a surgery that went bad. It wasn't like he removed himself when he was in awfully good standing.
Yeah. And we're sitting here talking like the people that aren't, risking injury. And I think that would be the thing if I was in his shoes, where I would seriously consider, like, I haven't played in 3 years. I feel phenomenal. This is the best I've ever felt, right?
He looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any bruising. Nobody's beating me up. I'm not having to do the whole grind thing,
Yeah, but let's be real.
Travel.
Nobody beat up Aaron. Nobody beat up Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was on
the injury thing would concern me if I was in his shoes, even considering coming back. But then, you talk about all these guys that, Jason Witten did it, right? He left and then was like, I got to go back. So he went back and played. And there's been a couple of guys. Yeah, Gronk did it.
Yep. And what did they come back to?
Oh,
like
much
Gronk.
better.
What did Gronk come back to? Gronk come back a way better situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm telling you, we're going to have...
It would not
our
surprise
texting
me.
is going to blow up if that actually happens.
Yeah, it would not surprise me. I was kind of viewing it as, like, if I was a Rams fan, what would I want? Because, he retired young and he's not that far out of it. He could still be playing right now.
Yeah.
And it was going to be one of the points that I made where we were talking about the advances in how good athletes are now.
Mm-hmm.
With Brady. Like, Brady could still go out and be better than half the quarterbacks in the league right now, in my opinion.
Yep.
LeBron at 42 is still better than a good majority of the people playing in the NBA. Aaron Donald, even after not playing for several years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a possibility. For 1 year, Von Miller's still out there limping around. So.
He is. And Chris Jones is playing, basically one down per series.
Yeah, he's still making
a lot of
still hasn't
money.
realized the Chiefs were eliminated from the playoffs last year.
Nope.
Yeah, so that was the big one. That's going to make waves. That's one of those things where I'm like, great. Now he's in good for you for not having him in the AFC conference anymore. Mm-hmm. Now he moves over to the NFC. So as a Packer fan, I'm like, that sucks.
We'll get to see him in February.
That's not what you want.
We'll see him in February.
Yeah, okay. Nice. The other thing that happened that's kind of been in the works for a while was the A.J. Brown trade. So we had heard about this for about a month, but it wasn't going to go through until June 1st when everything came off the books, and it did. Everybody was kind of like, it may or may not happen. It's more than likely going to happen. But the Eagles trade A.J. Brown to the Patriots, and the Eagles get a first-round pick out of it.
And you talk about credibility.
Yeah.
Right? A month or better ago, it was, this is a done deal. I think I even said it on here. A.J. Brown to the Patriots, it's a done deal. It's a done deal once they reach June 1, whatever. So the closer we got, it kind of went a little bit quiet, but it's still, A.J. Brown's still going to be linked here and there. Yesterday and the day before, all of these stories now start coming on about deal's almost done to, they're quite a ways apart, or they can't get close on compensation, they can't agree on compensation, and we're far apart again, and now it's almost a done deal. Now it's almost signed. And it went all over the board in the matter of 6 hours until finally it just said, deal's done.
Yep.
And Vrabel quickly comes out and states, hey, he passed his physical.
Yeah.
He's good to go.
Diana and I confirmed that he's good to go.
Tell me that wasn't a knock on the Baltimore Ravens. Passed his physical, he's good, this is going through.
I still can't believe that. Every time I think about the whole didn't pass his physical Max Crosby thing, I'm like, there's no way.
But yeah, that thing took such a turn, and I was listening to ESPN radio on the way in yesterday, and that's where the Chiefs got thrown into it, and I hadn't heard that. I hadn't read anything about that.
I went looking for that after you said it, and I'm like, is this just some
they were talking
black
about it.
market Twitter Chiefs Kingdom thing that you're reading?
No, it was ESPN people, and they were talking about it, and Chris Canty and some other guys were talking about it.
That's one of those things where somebody's available, and then you find out who is in the conversation to have this person.
But who provoked it?
I don't know, but everybody's in the conversation because you're always going to like.
No, I know.
If we own a team and we're like, hey, our star wide receiver is on the trading block, you're going to get 31 calls to see exactly what it is that you want for him.
Right, but my question to you is, you know, Ryan, you can only speculate, but you know that somebody out there, just to try to enhance the deal or to try to put pressure on the Patriots, whatever, somebody's going to be in there, like an agent, is going to call, or one of these team representatives is going to call and say, hey, we're the Chiefs. We got a good thing coming back. We're looking for a little firepower for Mahomes.
Yeah.
Might have an issue with Rice going on. Can we let's throw our hats in there too.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now, here comes the spin, and here comes all this stuff. You have to think that
Negotiation
we're not
tactics.
just going to let this go quietly into, he's locked down with the Patriots. Here he goes.
Yeah.
We got to throw something in there to, let's put a little pressure on there. Let's get some other names out there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of like what we were talking about a few weeks ago, where out of nowhere, all of a sudden, the Arizona Cardinals might have been a suitor for Aaron Rodgers. And You're like, what?
Yeah.
What? Who? What is that?
Yep.
Just to kind of rile up some pressure to get him to finally make a decision or whatever was going on. So I understand those tactics. I get it. It happens all the time. But it's just so funny because, I'll always read stuff was like, oh, the Packers were in consideration for potentially getting this player. And I'm like, yeah, so were 31 other teams. Because you're not going to call. You're just not going to not call and ask the question.
Right.
Right? Because what if you call and they're like, oh, we were waiting for you to call.
We thought you'd be calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got a deal for you. So.
I would love to be in or near or around or a part of a front office.
Yeah.
During draft, during trade negotiations, during free agency.
That should be a fan experience giveaway.
Man, I know. You shouldn't have to be dying of a disease to get that opportunity.
You sign an NDA, and for one season, you get to be a part of you don't make any decisions, but you get to sit in on the conversations and be a part of those rooms where they have those.
Yeah, and the hell with your NDA. I'm talking. When I come out of there, I'm letting everybody know. I'm going to let everybody know how the conversation went down because I think it would be fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
If I could get granted one wish, man, amongst a lot of other things, I would love to sit in a draft room.
Yeah.
Would love it to see how that goes. I want to see where the cap guy comes in. I want to see where the general manager comes in. I want to see where.
Well, if you're Minnesota, it's the same guy as your GM.
Well,
so that's
right,
cool.
right. Yeah.
Man of many.
Not
hats.
a real proven record of running things the right way over there.
Yeah.
But I'd love to do that. I'd love to see how those conversations go.
Or at least come out with a documentary a year after the fact or whatever about how.
Yeah, don't just give me Kevin Costner in draft day.
Yeah, boo.
I don't want that.
Or he's making ridiculous trades.
Yeah, I don't want that. And then he's sleeping with a girl
That's not ethical.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
She's probably 20 years younger than he is.
There's Post-it notes and things in there that need to get used. What are you doing in there? Get out of there.
Is that a Mike Rabel documentary?
Get out. Where's Diana? Diana breaks it first. Literally.
You see this? We're 2 months away.
What?
From our first preseason game.
Yeah, we are.
2 months.
Yep.
Yes. Let's go. So AJ goes to the Patriots. I think it's a good move for them. I mean, it definitely solidifies who their number one is, and it's going to free up a lot of space for guys like Booty and Williams. We'll see. The O-line was their biggest issue, especially in the Super Bowl. So they're going to have to keep May very well protected if he's going to have an opportunity. We'll see if he can tone down his diva-ness that he had from the Eagles about not getting touches and things like that. But he seems to be very excited about being a Patriot, something that he, I guess, has wanted since he was a very small child.
And you knew he was on the move when they drafted Lemon at 1.
Yeah. Yep.
You knew it.
Yeah, 100%.
The writing was on the wall.
100%. So I don't have a lot of comments about that just because it's been in the ether for a while and it's finally landed. So we'll see how it plays out. I mean, even with the Myles Garrett thing, I think it's an incredible pickup for them. But, I mean, sometimes these things happen and people get hurt,
Yep.
All the Micah Parsons type of thing or whatever.
Cleveland got nice compensation.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, no excuse.
Yeah. Patriots did too. I mean, the Eagles did too. They get another first rounder next year and a fifth rounder in 27. 28 is the first round and then the fifth's in 27. So that's good for them. The other things that were kind of happening, the Giants made a ton of moves at wide receiver yesterday, picking up Juju Smith-Schuster, Odell Beckham Jr., and Braxton Berrios. Somebody needs to call them and tell them it's not 2016 anymore.
That creaking you hear
those are the knees.
Is not the doors of the office. That's all the body parts.
Yeah,
of your
kind
new
of interesting. And then also to mention that Malik Neighbors is coming off his second knee surgery to repair that ACL that he tore.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his dumbass is out there playing dodgeball in this charity thing, and it's like you can be there, you just don't need to be playing.
Right.
Scattaboo doing backflips at a charity softball tournament. It's like, can we be smarter about what we're doing here? Somebody's got to grab these guys, pull them aside, and be like, you realize like you're like a linchpin for how successful we could be this year, right?
That's your team, Ryan. It's your team, boy. You're pro Giants. It's your team.
Yeah.
You better get them going.
Are you in the same headspace as I am though for players that are doing that type of stuff? Like when all the players were playing the flag football stuff throughout the winter or after the Super Bowl, and Joe Burrow's doing like dives and flips into the end zone, and making cut moves, and you're like, dude, one wrong move, and like, I don't think I need it. It's fun to see, but is it worth it? Again, what's the calculated risk here?
Yep.
I understand they're people; they got to live, they got to,
Well, I think we're in alignment with that.
Yeah.
What they're doing outside of their job. Yeah.
When your body is your paycheck.
Should be a country song.
And I'm not talking about. Well, I won't go there.
Nope. Let it go.
Yeah. The other bit of news today was Josh Jacobs showed up at practice today.
Hey, solid. Who'd he beat up to get there?
Ooh, we don't know anything yet.
It's not what you know. Haven't we identified this? It's not what you know.
Yeah.
It's not factual, Ryan.
Yeah.
Speculation is factual, remember?
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Josh Jacobs is the Green Bay Packers star running back and pretty much the only one they have on the roster. He's had some off-the-field legal problems, some would call them.
Allegedly.
He was initially investigated on May 23rd for some domestic disputes. And then on May 26th, he was arrested and charged on 5 different counts related to domestic abuse, one of those being a felony. He was in police custody for about 24 hours before he was released on May 27th. This all comes from Yahoo Sports, and the running back remains under investigation. Since then, they've released him, and they're trying to come up. State's Attorney's Office trying to come up with charges, seeing if there's any validity with what's going on here.
Yeah, the authorities have released him, not the Packers yet.
Correct, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So the authorities have released him. Currently, State's Attorney's Office is trying to decide if there's enough juice to like pursue charges on this.
Yeah.
So they're doing some some
probable cause is what they're looking for right now. Mm-hmm.
So the office said there's a distinction between the evidence threshold for arrest and charging. The threshold for arrest is probable cause, while charges would require evidence of a crime beyond reasonable doubt.
Yep.
So DA's office added that based on the evidence at this time, they were not ready to make a formal charging decision, and the office requests an additional formal investigation into the matter. So the Packers have been pretty tight-lipped on it. They've done the whole business-as-usual conversation where they're not going to speculate one way or the other. We did see a lot of this happen with Stephon Diggs last year in the playoffs. Nothing ever came of that. It just seems like this is an ongoing issue with NFL players.
Yeah.
Whether it be true or not, we're going to wait and see exactly what evidence comes out and what happens.
Tight-lipped, split-lipped, somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Somewhere in the middle, the truth's going to come out. I got 2 words for it, and that's all I'm going to put on it. Former Raider, period.
Yeah.
Done.
That was a lot of the comments section. Was anybody going to tell this guy's not a Raider anymore?
I didn't even need to chime in.
Yeah. The league's aware of the situation, has been in contact with the Packers. Packers released a statement acknowledging that the investigation was ongoing and they had no further comment at the time. So we're kind of all waiting for this to come down. He would probably face a 6-game suspension if anything did come of this, and then also whatever comes in the legal end, backside of it.
Yeah.
So this really sucks for the Packers. They don't have really any running back depth at all. It also sucks that when one of the captains of your team, who is Jacobs, is involved in stuff like this. But again, we don't know. Could be somebody just searching for money and some clout in a situation that involves a guy with a lot of money, or it could be legit. Maybe he's just that kind of guy.
Yeah.
If he is that kind of guy, I hope the Packers react responsibly and maybe terminate his contract and move on, because what he's been alleged to have doing, not good stuff. Anywhere from strangulation to
allegedly.
Yeah. A bunch of other bad things.
Yeah.
So, running back hit free agency in 2013, signed a 4-year deal with the Packers with a contract that was worth about $48 million. And he's in year 3 of that deal. So, we'll see what comes of it. It's from a football standpoint, it's nice that he's at practice. Outside of that, I
hope, glass half full guy.
Yeah, I hope things
hope it works out well.
Jacobs has denied the allegations in a statement through his lawyer, and the investigation is ongoing. So
that's solid legal advice right there.
It is. I mean, he hasn't said anything. He turned himself in. It was a whole deal. So I think he's kind of, I think he's going through the motions at this point. So we'll see. See what happens with that. And then lastly, Kelly, one of the bigger news stories is our boy Russell Wilson.
Also signed as a free agent acquisition.
Did. With CBS.
Yes, he did.
I believe he's taking Matt Ryan's spot. Matt Ryan, who left for
that's a damn shame.
President of football operations to go be with the Falcons, right? Or no, the Colts? Colts or Falcons?
Doesn't matter. I love Matt Ryan.
Falcons, I think. Anyway, Matt Ryan gone.
It was the Falcons.
Stepped in, super awkward Russell Wilson. We'll see how this goes. He must have some sort of presence. I have seen his commercials. I've seen the Broncos Country Let's Ride. I've seen a bunch of different things. They're all very, very awkward. Mr. Unlimited will be stepping into that role at CBS. And what was his contract?
Here comes the entourage. If you hear that thundering herd coming behind him, it's the entourage that is Russell Wilson. My makeup artist, my hair artist, my nail artist.
Yeah.
Here comes the entourage.
Is this it? Is he done?
No masseuse necessary. Got my own.
Right. So from ESPN, quarterback Russell Wilson is finalizing a deal to become CBS sports analyst. This comes from Adam Schefter. Wilson, who also had an offer on the table from the Jets to join the team as a backup to Geno Smith. Yeah, I think I'd sign with CBS too if those were my two options. Had acknowledged last month that the New York Post that he was considering joining the CBS sports team. Wilson is a 10-time Pro Bowler who won a Super Bowl, lost a Super Bowl as well. He's a Walter Payton Man of the Year during his career, is now set to leave the NFL and become an analyst. It's unclear if Wilson is retiring as a player or simply taking a pause in his playing career. He's going to replace Matt Ryan, we talked about, and who went back to Atlanta as president of football operations. Wilson's 37 years old. He's got 46,966 yards, 353 touchdowns with 114 interceptions during his career, which includes 10 seasons with the Seahawks, 2 with the Broncos, and 1 with Pittsburgh, and then 1 with the New York Giants. Kelly?
Fun fact, Denver paid for all of those teams, minus the Seahawks.
His passing yardage is 5th most in the NFL since 2012.
Yeah.
He was selected by the Seahawks in the 3rd round.
True.
Wasn't even scheduled to start his rookie year because they had just signed a big contract with Matt Flynn, who was going to take that. And then
solid
over the course of training camp, they're like, nope, this is our guy. And then he started every game there out, winning a Super Bowl. How do you feel about the career of Russell Wilson? Do you think this is a guy that's on the cusp?
Yes.
Of Hall of Fame?
Yes.
But doesn't get in?
You could make an argument.
His first 10 years, I think you can make a real strong argument. His
yes.
last 4, not so much.
You could make an argument.
This is a tale of two halves kind of thing for me. I think a lot of what's happened over the last 4 or 5 years has really kind of tarnished some things. Because there was times when he was in Seattle where I'm like, I think he's going to win the MVP this year.
Yes.
And then we'd get to week 9, and he would turn into a shell of himself and completely implode.
Yep. So. And you go to a Denver team that's trying to find the right head coach, going through a whole carousel of coaches.
Yeah.
You wind up with the Giants. You wind up with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, obviously, under the microscope right now for not having a lot of success over the last decade or more.
Yeah.
Right? You end up in the Giants that are, I don't know if they're a rebuild. I don't know what they are. They're having GM issues, having coaching carousels there as well. Daboll, not trusted, whatever. I mean, everything in Seattle was pretty rock solid for him. Everything beyond that, I mean, he was a guy getting bounced around to organizations that had really no bearing.
Yeah.
So how much of that can you put on Russell? I don't know how much, but I think you can make an argument. For looking at him as second ballot guy eventually into the Hall of Fame. I think you'd make the argument. Would I endorse it? If I get a little more time to think about it and put stuff together, yeah. But the way his career started in a decade worth, sure.
Yeah.
Like, he's there.
I think I'm very impartial. I don't think I care one way or the other. I don't think it's good. It's not going to be a travesty if he doesn't get in for me. And it's not going to be one of those things where if he does get in, I'm going to be like, there's so-and-so that should have got in before. I don't,
Yep.
They kind of let anybody in nowadays, so it's not like really all that big of a deal. But he's kind of along the lines of like a Peyton, or not a Peyton, but an Eli Manning for me. Similar stats outside of the 2 Super Bowls that Manning has.
Really.
I mean, it's kind of I kind of view them in the same light, I guess.
Yep.
So I don't know. Good for him. I'm excited to see what he'll be like on air. Just from what I've seen him do some other stuff, is he going to be that like Magoo type of thing?
He's
or
not. He's going to be great. Yeah. You know what? You know he is. He's going to be great.
Yeah. He's probably going to be somewhere around like Tony Romo-ish, I would guess. Still knows the game, can still talk about some stuff, but I think he's going to sit on the panel. I think he's going to sit.
Yeah, he's going to be with Cowher and Nate Burleson, and
Yep. So we'll see how that goes.
His interaction with Bill Cowher will be interesting.
It will.
We'll see how that goes.
I have a lot of respect for Bill Cowher.
Old Iron Jaw himself, who just calls it as it is.
Yeah. I like him a lot. So, yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the NFL news. Is there anything else from the NFL that you were like, got to talk about this, or can we move on to the NBA?
No, you can move on to the NBA.
All right. NBA finals start on June 3rd, which is this Wednesday.
Oh, man.
At time of recording.
Why make people wait? Why make people wait so long? Oh, my goodness. Between June 3rd and June 19th.
Well,
that whole time we're waiting for a champion.
Well, and then it'll be a Wednesday game, then a Friday game, then a Monday game.
I know. Why all this space in between?
They drag it out, right? So it's a rematch of the what is this? Is the rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals?
Maybe. Won't fact check you, but maybe.
Fact check myself.
Been a minute since old Pop was there with the Spurs.
Correctamundo.
Nice job.
Yes.
Way to provide the accuracy.
Yes. So 1999 NBA Finals between the Knicks and the Spurs. We have that rematch again between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. So, like I said, this finals game will kick off on Wednesday in San Antonio. San Antonio coming off a huge series win against the defending champions, Oklahoma City Thunder, which I think most of the nation was pretty happy about because I don't know a lot of people that actually root for that team or even like the Thunder. And this is kind of a coming-of-age story for Wemby. This is his third year in the league. I've seen him kind of go through some stuff, and he's really kind of taken charge. And I have always viewed great NBA teams that end up winning, it's more about your role players than your superstar for the most part. Your superstar plays a huge determining factor on whether or not you can win a championship. But if your number 6 guy isn't hitting threes from the corner, hitting wide open shots, and doing the things that they need to do, your chances of coming away with this are not going to be the best. But kind of fun to see the Knicks in the finals. Haven't seen them in there in a long time. They haven't won a championship since, I think, the 70s.
Yeah.
So that city's on fire. They're painting the subways and all that blue and orange, and the city's on fire for it, right? They're super excited.
Well, your boy Carl Anthony gets in there, right? He gets in.
Yeah, great.
Couldn't get her done with the T-Wolves, so now he's there.
He would, if the Knicks end up pulling off a finals victory, he would be the 4th Timberwolf in my lifetime to be traded and then win a team with the team he was traded to.
See?
Garnett, Kevin Love.
It might be time.
Andrew Wiggins, and it could be Cat.
It might be time.
So I think it's safe to say you know who I'm rooting for.
Yep.
The Spurs.
Go Wemby.
Yeah. So you brought up a query.
Yes.
You have a query, which I don't like the premise of the question because then it feeds into some other stuff. But go ahead, ask your question.
Well, it kind of piggybacks off of the prior debate. But so here, let me set the baseline.
Okay.
Let me set the baseline. Yeah. I was once a Chicago Bulls fan for quite a period of time. I really, truly respected MJ. I liked that Bulls team. They brought in Rodman. They seemed to get better. They just seemed to get stronger, but they sustained something great for a long period of time. And I was all in with the Bulls, right? And then Jordan stepped away. His supporting cast, for the most part, kind of scattered or stepped away or retired or whatever happened. And I kind of fell away from the NBA. I think it's very well known I fell away from the NBA. I didn't follow it. I didn't like the way the game was played. I didn't like that it was just an offensive thing, that nobody played defense. Yada, yada. I gave all these excuses in the past. So here's the deal. It's been well established that I've tried to make it a point to try to return to the NBA. And this happened when the Nuggets and Joker were making a push, 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. I think they might have been in the finals and whatever. I'm like, look, I want to get back in. Can I come back in? Can I, do I really want to do this? But I think you, as much as anybody, can say, Kelly, you really haven't made much of an effort to get back into the NBA because I didn't follow it. I still have my complaints about things. I still didn't like to see certain things. I didn't like games that were 140 to 122. Didn't look like they were playing defense, whatever. I've had my reservations. The thing is, I followed these playoffs more than I have probably the last 10 years. And I don't know why I did that other than I think I liked some of the dudes. I like Wemby. I like his supporting cast. I like that. I like to watch the Thunder lose. I don't know why I'm taking such an invested interest in this year's playoffs. However, the question I raised to you is, can I be a Spurs fan moving forward? Can I do this? Like, am I meeting the criteria to go all in back into the NBA? And can I be a Spurs fan? And the reason being, I like Wemby. I like the young supporting cast. I like the coach. I like the way that they play. For the most part, I don't see. I mean, Wemby's sure he's a superstar now, right? But it's not a team of LeBrons and Kevin Durant's and all these superstar things where they're trying to put together these dream teams. That's not the case. But I liked the Spurs. I liked to watch them when David Robinson was there. I liked to watch them when some of their prior guys were there a decade ago. Can I be a freaking Spurs fan? That's what I want to know. Can I be a Spurs fan? And I get it. I'm going to get blown up for nice. You're jumping with a team that's headed to the NBA Finals. I get it. I understand all the logic. But I can argue I have not bought in to the Nuggets. I have not bought into the NBA. I have not done a good job of that.
Yeah.
I have cowered from becoming full-blown back into the NBA guy. But I feel like I kind of want to make the dive. I kind of want to take the plunge. And I kind of want to back the Spurs team. I like the team.
Sure.
I like what they do.
Yeah.
It's not because of who they beat and who they didn't beat and whatever. I like the team.
Yeah.
Can I be a freaking Spurs fan, Ryan?
I mean, the short answer.
I'll take the beating.
The short answer is you can do whatever you want. Fandom has to start from somewhere, right? For most of us, it began when we were little, and we're like, all right. I just recently watched a video that was like, I have to take this punishment for being a Dolphins fan because when I was little, I really liked the fact that the Dolphin wore a little football helmet.
Yeah.
And now it's ruined his life for the last 30 years, right? Yeah. So, and I think that's really where the crux of this stuff comes into, where I get a lot of shit for being a Rockies fan who, you know, and this was another thing. Like, why can't you put your foot down and say, we do it with businesses all the time, right? Where you're like, I don't like the way this business runs their business and what they do with their product, therefore I'm not buying it anymore.
Right.
Right? But with sports fandom, we're just supposed to sit there and take it. You're supposed to be loyal.
And I do that in a different league.
That's what I mean.
And we're going to get to that
That's
too.
what I mean. But we're supposed to sit there and just take it because we're sports fans and we're loyal. And even if that business that I root for is run super poorly, I'm supposed to just bend over a barrel and take it every year because I'm loyal and that's what I am.
Right.
But if another company pisses you off and they don't take your warranty claim or they don't stand behind their product or whatever, it's completely fine for you to walk away, right? Because you're not happy with how they performed or how they're running their business.
Right.
The other thing that plays against you is the fact that like you're doing this in your 50s.
Yeah.
People don't like it when you do that when you're old. It's fine if you're naive and young and you're like, I want to be a Packer fan because I like the color yellow and cheese is good.
But I went from 25 to 50 not liking the NBA at all.
Yeah. So that's where my initial comment comes in. It's like it's great. If you want to be a fan and like help progress the sport by rooting for a team, your fandom has to start somewhere.
I like the team.
Yeah, your fandom has to start somewhere.
You know? I don't know how much I can. I don't know how much I can give. I don't know if there's a lot. I'm over half dead. I don't know. Well established.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I can actually invest and how much I can give. But I like them.
Right. I didn't fall in love with the NBA until I was like, I think I was like 18 years old, something like that. I'd have to go back and look, but I fell in love with Kevin Love. Really liked the way that he played. And because of how I feel about the Packers, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to follow. Like, I'm going to start rooting for this team because I like the player. And I did the same thing with Troy Tulowitzki with the Rockies. But if they're gone, I'm not following them. I'm not doing the LeBron thing where you're a Cleveland fan this year, and then next year you're a Heat fan, and then you're a Cleveland fan again, and then now you root for the Lakers. And like, I'm not doing that thing.
Yeah.
So my challenge to you would be, okay, if you're going to get deep into the weeds, if you're going to be like, San Antonio Spurs is my new number 2. It goes Chiefs, Spurs, Royals, whatever. Right?
You can put the Mammoth ahead of the Royals right now.
If that's what you're going to do, then you need to be all in and stay in. Okay?
Now, what is all in? Because here's my reflection. This is the reflection I've done. NBA
all in for me, as far as NBA goes, is you need to know about 75% of who's on the roster.
I know that.
And by the end of this regular season, you need to have watched about half the games.
See, now, is that a problem? Do I get grandfathered in a little bit because I really kind of picked it up in the playoffs?
This is all going forward.
Okay. Because I've done my reflection, right? I've done my reflection. Why was I a Bulls fan?
I think there's
for
criteria,
so long?
right? So, like, in order for you to be a fan, you have to be a fan, right?
We're not going over that list again. Oh, no, that's bandwagon.
That's
fan.
bandwagon fan. If you're going
Which
to be a
I
fan,
might fit.
I think right now, in this instant, if you are going to join the Spurs fandom,
Yes.
you are joining as a bandwagon fan.
Yes.
Now, I firmly believe that you can join as a bandwagon fan and then mold yourself into a normal fan based on how the rest of your fandom goes.
I can do that.
Which is what I'm trying to tell you right now.
So you're telling me that I can do that. I'll take the heat. I will take the heat for, sure, they qualify for the finals.
As long,
and
listen,
now
from my point of view, as long as you're like, you're 2 feet in, right? You're knee deep. You're ready to go into it. You are looking for a reason to be excited about the sport, right? Which is kind of where I was with the Cardinals last year, where I'm like, I'm tired of not being excited about my favorite sport. I'm tired of having to grind through this and just be fine with being terrible and mediocrity and not caring about it, right? And then I put my foot down. I'm like, I'm not stepping foot in the stadium or rooting for them until they sell the team. Yep. Like, you have to draw a line in the sand, and that was it for me. So if you're going to join, if your line in the sand was the NBA sucks, I hate the product, I can't watch it, I have no way to draw me in, I need something to draw me in, and now Wembanyama is that person that draws you in, that's no different than my 10-year-old cousin thinking that, or nephew thinking that Steph Curry's the greatest thing ever, right? He's got that to draw him in. It's the same reason why you were drawn into Jordan, okay? And you rooted for the Bulls.
Right.
You weren't a Chicago Bulls fan before Jordan, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
But you were when you got there, and you got to root, and now that's the other thing, the other bandwagon side of this thing, right? You fell off after Jordan was done. If you were truly a Chicago Bulls fan, you would still be to this day.
Okay, but let me make it at least a bit of an argument that when Jordan was done, the NBA was starting to change, and it was starting to go into the part of the NBA that I didn't like, where they didn't look like it seemed like it was focused 100% on the offense. A whole new argument, but it looks like it's 100% of the offense. They weren't really playing defense.
No, because I could get into arguments about that with how the Lakers played, and then actually after that in the early 2000s with especially how the Spurs played. The Tim Duncan Spurs were
that's true. That's valid.
Were a super good defensive team.
That's valid. I got to fall on that.
That played fundamentally. So it was.
Yep.
It was probably 10 to 15 years after Jordan that it became what you're thinking of.
Yeah. So the biggest piece was Jordan was done.
Yeah.
And I just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll own that.
Yeah.
I'll own that.
So to right your wrongs, I'm glad. Like, I would love nothing more than for you to get into basketball, because then that helps our show.
Listen,
right?
I can't sit here and have my co-host say on air, we do a sports podcast, and my co-host doesn't know shit about most of the sports that we talk about. I can't have that anymore. So there's also a driving point. What gets you drawn in? That's part of what gets me drawn in. But I like San Antonio.
Yeah.
And when I reflect on stuff, the Jordan thing, when I look at the Blackhawks, right? I was once into hockey. They fired Quenneville as their coach. It pissed me off. And I wrote him off. I said, I'm done. I'm done with NHL.
Sure.
I didn't pick a new team. I didn't do any of that. And I know this sounds like a huge justification, but I feel like I had valid argument for some of that stuff. Royals, don't even get me going on the freaking Kansas City Royals.
We'll talk about later. But I think if you have a good enough reason, like for instance, our pal Anthony, who I think we talk about every show, he has a good enough reason to not be an Angels fan, in my opinion.
Agreed.
If he came here today and was like, listen, I am done,
Reveal.
I would look him square in the eyeballs and go, you are 100% justified in your actions at this point in time.
Now get off my ass. That's how that would go.
But with this, if you're jumping back in, if you're finding a reason to fall back in love with the NBA after 20 years, sure, you're going to get a lot of flack for it, but you got to find a reason to love it again, right?
Yeah.
But that also means that if Wemby gets hit by a bus tomorrow and breaks every bone in his body and can't play basketball anymore, you got to be a Spurs fan.
I agree. I agree. I understand. I can't say the word. I understand the criteria.
Sure.
I do. I want to meet said criteria. I like this team. I like that my son will actually say, Dad, Spurs game tonight. And he's a T-Wolves fan,
sure.
Right? He's a diehard T-Wolves fan.
Likes Edwards.
Dad, he does. He's a huge Ant guy.
Yeah.
Dad, Spurs play tonight.
Yeah.
And it's been like that since the playoffs started. So it's like I'm hearing him. He's involved, right? Yeah. He's invested. He's paying attention to what's going on. So
more than any other sport, I think the identity of who you fall in love with as a player is embedded in the and I'm not saying this correctly, but the NBA is that for more people than it is with any other sport, because you see their face. There's only 5 guys on your team on the court at a time, right?
Yep.
So they become the face of your franchise. They're not hidden under a mask. They don't wear a baseball cap. It's nothing. It's just them. They're out there, their style, what they're doing. And so you need something to attach to. So there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I really like Dame Lillard, or I like Steph Curry, LeBron James, whatever. Like, that's who they attach themselves to. I think you have more of that traveling fan in this sport because of that, where they're like, I'm a Durant guy, so they just follow Durant wherever he goes because they really like watching him play.
And I like Wemby, but I like the team.
Yeah. I've always listen.
Vassell, Castle, Wemby. I like the team.
Yeah, I was a huge Tim Duncan fan when I was growing up,
and I love the coach. I love the coach coaches them like he is the authority figure, and they are his players.
Yeah,
like
well, they're young.
I like that. That's I'll make a valid argument.
Yeah.
I like that about them.
Yeah. But to my point, when I was growing up, so I attached myself to Tim Duncan. So I wanted to see him succeed. And then I fell in love with Steve Nash. So I kind of did the thing when I was younger where I was following these players around where I'm like, I love Tim Duncan. Okay, now I really love Steve Nash. So I just rooted for the Suns. Right. Loved that. And then I'm like, I really like Kevin Love. But by the time I kind of got into that fandom, I was like, okay, but it can't just be about him. It can't just be about Troy Tulowitzki. It can't just be about whoever, right?
Yep.
Like I have to root for the team as a whole. So while I don't like it that you're jumping on at this time,
I know it's a horrible look.
Finals.
It's why I raised the question.
Yeah,
like let's go public, right? I'm bringing this baby out publicly. I'm not resorting to just the boy group. Like I'm bringing it out publicly. Can I be a freaking Spurs fan, and I will take whatever heat comes along with it?
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I don't like it, but you're free to do whatever you want as long as you're trying to get into the game. So that was a conversation I had with another buddy where I'm like, with the whole Rockies thing, where I'm like, I just want to be able to enjoy watching baseball, and I can't do that.
Yep. Yeah, So. And that might be a good segue. That might be a great segue.
All right.
Baseball.
Yeah.
So I think we're well established. I get to root for the Spurs.
Sure.
And I think we're good there. Okay, let's go baseball.
I can't wait for the comment on that one.
Ryan, it was proposed and it was accepted that the Kansas City Royals are building a new stadium, right?
Yes.
Breaking ground 2027, will be finished 2030. The location of it is pretty much downtown. My question to you is, knowing that the Royals have barely over a 300 winning percentage in the last 5 years, knowing that they've only finished one of the seasons in the last 5 years above 500, knowing that there has been talent there, there's been a farm system there, they've had guys where they feel like they could have turned the corner, but they're pumping $1.9 billion into a new stadium. Considering the product that they've had on the field, and I'm not just using 1 year, 2 years,
are they
3
paying
years.
themselves like the Chiefs are?
No, that's a smart investment. Considering the product they put on the field, considering how things are going, and this isn't 1 or 2 years, Ryan. I'm talking 5 years. Hell, go 10 if you want, because they came out of the World Series in 15, and they have not been could you say not a well-run organization? I feel like you could. They've got an owner that's crazy wealthy. They've got a roster that's got some really good guys on it. I mean, you got Bobby Witt Jr. But if you're a Royals fan, which you're not, but I am, can you put yourself in the position of a Royals fan? Could you support a new stadium with what you've seen from them since the World Series 11 years ago? Could you support a new stadium and everything that goes into that? Because I've got some tidbits here. I've got both sides of the coin. I got
pineapple
whatever.
Tidbits?
I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it, and it doesn't matter how I feel about it. I'm just a fan. But I don't know how I feel about the whole new stadium because it's getting really hard. It's getting really, really hard. And I get your Rockies thing. I get Anthony's Angels thing. I get it. It's getting really hard to watch these guys. It's hard to follow. It's hard to stay in tune. And I went through this with the Chiefs. I went through 20 years of nothingness with them. And I don't know, being over half dead at this point, I don't know if I got that in me again to be with the Royals. I'm not bailing. Sure. I'm not doing some reveal. I'm not trying to pick a new team. But now I'm simplifying it to they're building a new stadium. It's costing a shit ton of money to build a new stadium. They're moving it downtown Kansas City or near downtown. Should they get to do that? Should I support that? Should I support that as a fan of the Royals?
I mean, this kind of plays back into the whole and hopefully maybe things will change once this new CBA gets done next year or whenever it gets done. But where you talk about these teams that, like, the Pirates are notorious for having plenty of money to spend but never spending it. So people get mad at the Pirates for not doing that. They're not spending the money they need to spend in order to be competitive, right? And then you have the other side of the coin with the Dodgers where they just spend whatever they want to win, right?
Yes.
Whatever they have, all those things. So, I mean, this is, again, is you're kind of getting into that, you know, stadium negotiations, building a new stadium. Where is this money coming from? Have you earned this? Have you earned your way to be able to pay for a new stadium? What is this going to do? Is it going to bring more revenue to the team that you're not going to eventually use to make the team better?
Thank you. That's one of my arguments.
Is it, you know, sometimes you feel like they should earn this. Is it just another amusement park to help pay for, you know, the private school of the owner and to build up his portfolio and things like that? So do they deserve it? Probably not. Is the current stadium serviceable? I don't know. I've never been there. I don't know. I would say for me, I wouldn't support it just because of if you're not going to support me and my fandom with my money by putting a quality product on the field, how can I support you, you know, lining your pockets with more money to build this bigger stadium, I guess. But
okay, yeah. So framework. Stadium itself estimated to cost $1.9 billion.
Okay.
Surrounding district that's supposed to go with it, an entertainment district of some sort.
Yeah. So again, just trying to feed into it.
Right. With the surrounding entertainment district taking the total projection $3 billion.
Sure.
Right? They are relocating downtown. The project is public-private partnership. The city council is approving $600 million of a $2 billion project. Okay? And the state of Missouri and private investments are funding the rest. Don't know who they are. Not revealed.
Sure.
Has not surfaced, whatever. But they once were holding the figures back. Now the figures are out. It's going to be a grand scheme of $3 billion with 1.9 being the ballpark and the rest of the stuff. Right? Again, starts in 2027, 2030 before they have completion to the point where they can play on it. Right? Arguments. Two sides to everything. As a fan, you could support the project. Are they keeping the team competitive? Are they financially stable to do so? Are they improving the fan experience? That one, I think you can check the box. If they're bringing in the entertainment district and they're doing whatever. But are they improving the fan experience? Yes. Does it help revitalize a part of the city? It may. I'm not familiar with the downtown. I don't know the region. There's a term for it where it's a, I don't know if it's a historic thing. It feels like it's a historic part of the downtown, whatever it is. But does it help revitalize part of the city? It may. So you can maybe check that box. On the contrary, I'm more on this side of it. Public money being used for a billionaire-owned team. Don't like that. Unclear economic benefits because nothing's published. Nothing's out. Revenue, all that other stuff. Where's it going? Very unclear about the public money being used, which is those of us who buy hats, those of us who buy jerseys, those of us who do all that stuff. Right? Losing Kauffman Stadium history, don't care. I mean, it's the K. I understand. Yeah. Have I been there? I have not actually been there. I've been a Royals fan my entire life.
If they can rebuild Yankee Stadium, they can tear down Kauffman.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then obviously
Fenway and Wrigley are probably the only untouchables, I would say, at this point. But
yep.
Yeah.
So I've been told by smart people that a fair assessment of this whole thing, a fair position, would be to support the new stadium. The plan is transparent. The public cost is limited. And there's clear community benefit. I don't know where I fall in any of these. You can check boxes on both. The pros and the cons. You can I don't. And you can check boxes on both. I just want to know, is the product that you're putting out there going to be better? Is this going to help in some way, shape, or form the product? Because at the end of the day, I don't live there. I don't care what the entertainment district park looks like. Me personally, I don't care. I don't care what it looks like. Are the Royals going to start winning games? Is there going to be a postseason for the Royals? Are they going to take care of the players? When they get guys like Bobby Witt Jr. and Miguel Garcia and some of these guys, are they going to take care of them?
Yeah.
Are they going to be around for a while?
Does this mean that because you're building this stadium, you're actually going to do the things that require you to fill it?
Correct.
Right.
Is it going to be a recruitment thing where people actually want to play for the Royals? Are they going to continue to have good players coming in? Are they going to have good seasons? Because quite frankly, dude, being 11 and a half games back before the All-Star break, being 11 and a half games back and not looking like you can pull yourself out of this hole.
I mean, you're 10.
It's a long season. I don't care. It's a long
half.
freaking season, man. It's a long season. We're not even to the All-Star break, and I'm losing interest because I've been the guy. I've sat down and I've watched the teams lose again. I've watched that happen. I don't want to do that again. And I don't know about this whole new stadium thing and whatever. And I mean, it's great. It's exciting, whatever. There's people that are going to love it. There's people who don't. I just don't know as a Royals fan, do I really want to support a new stadium? Do I want to see them do that? Chiefs are on a little bit different trajectory, right? They've seen a lot of success recently. So their new stadium and the money magic that they're working out with Kansas on the whole thing and how they're pretty much getting paid to build a stadium.
Yeah.
Pretty fair assessment there. Pretty good stuff going on. I just don't know. It's not me necessarily bitching so much about the Royals as it is. I mean, do you get a new stadium? You got a really wealthy dude who owns your team. And you've got a lot of things that are not going well.
You're like me with my son this morning, where I'm like, you didn't manage your time well, and you didn't pick from the options that were given. So what in the hell makes you think you run the show at this point?
Correct. That's a great assessment.
Yeah. How do you think that you get the opportunity to make a decision after you were given the opportunity to make the correct one? You were given time to do so, and you still chose to throw a fit and do neither of those things. And so now you think you deserve to be able to make your own decisions when it comes to this?
Correct.
No, decision's going to be made for you, and then we're going to move on throughout the day. There will be another opportunity for you to be able to do that, but not so much right now.
Right. And how much fan money is going into this new stadium? Because right now you can watch any game you want at the K.
Yeah.
And I think some of the most phenomenal seating at a baseball stadium would be right behind home plate, man. I think that'd be great. Sitting back there, whatever. There's empty seats all over back there at the K. Day game, night game, doesn't matter. There's empty seats all over that. Are you going to fill the stadium up? What are you doing with fan money? Like the fan money that's coming in to support all this stuff and merchandise and all that stuff. What are you doing with that? How much skin are you putting in the game, John Sherman?
Yeah.
The guy that owns them. How much skin are you putting in?
Yeah, I see your frustration for sure. Like that's not beyond me. I would feel the same way if it was the Rockies. You know, you got a beautiful stadium, you can't fill it anyway. So what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
How about you focus on creating a good product on the field rather than retooling the field itself? Let's start there, and then we'll talk about maybe fixing the stadium and the field and some other things.
Right. When you're coming out and you're playing somebody who's under 500 as your competition.
Because you better add some swimming pools and some other shit to that stuff to keep us entertained, because what's happening on the field isn't going to do that.
Right. If it's 1.9 for the stadium, 1.9 billion for the stadium, and it's totaling $3 billion for the entertainment district and all the stuff you're bringing in something, right? Is that? I don't know. I like the side where. Is the money transparent? Do we know where it's going? Do we know where it's coming from? Do we know who's got skin in the game and whatever it is? I just don't. I'm fed up. I had 2015. I had 2014 when they made it and didn't win it. I had 15 when they won it. And since then, you would think you had the horsepower to get yourself to a World Series and win it. You would think that with new owner, new GMs, new all this other stuff, managers and whatever it is, that you could somehow assemble something that is relatively competitive, and that has not been it. That has not been it for at least 8 consecutive seasons. And don't look at me and say, well, 2 years ago they had a team that was over 500. By 2 games, they were over 500.
Yeah.
They were not in the postseason. Like, again, I get to be the fan. I get to be the fan of this. I want to see, I don't want to stop watching when the regular season ends. Right. I don't want that. I wouldn't want that as an NBA fan, which I'm becoming. I'm coming in.
Great.
Coming in hot. I don't want that as an NBA fan. I hated that as a Chiefs fan. I loved the NHL Finals when I was a Blackhawks fan before you fired Q. I loved that. I loved having a postseason to watch. I liked being a fan during the entirety of a season. College football, right? College football. I can still get into the college football playoffs even though Penn State doesn't make it in because that's good football.
Sure.
That's solid. There's traditions and rich cultures and everything that's still playing in that. I can still get in that. MLB, I don't give a damn. If it's postseason play, I don't want to watch the Dodgers. I don't care.
Well, and plus there's 160 games and it's all that stuff. So
Correct.
there's a ton of things
and I don't
that go,
care.
Yeah, that feed into it for sure.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was my question to you. As a fan. Should I support a new stadium? I don't know.
I get your hesitation.
Something's got to back it up, right? I mean, you can't polish a turd. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Anyway. What are we on?
I think we got your college questions.
Ooh, I love this. And I'm simply going to ask the question.
Okay.
Right? I've thought about these. I've come up with my own answers and stuff, but this is stuff that you and I have talked about regarding college football. And for anybody that wants to diss on the show right now and peel out, just stop listening because we're going straight into questions about college football. That's where we're at. These are very thought-provoking, Ryan, and these are things that you and I have discussed. And things are taking shape. Coaches are moving. NIL is increasing. The portal. There's proposals out there for the portal. There's proposals out there for age limits on players. How many times you can be in the portal. There's a lot of proposals in place. We are merely jumping the gun and getting ahead of that with some of these questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Roger that. There's no right or wrong answer, Ryan. The right answer is any answer. That's what I'm going to say to you. So, will the transfer portal ultimately create more parity or concentrate talent among a few programs? Are we going to equal the playing field, or are we just going to make a powerhouse even stronger? That's the gist.
I thought about that question when you sent it to me, and I was like, my initial answer was yes to both, just because you're going to have this talent pool spread out across probably 30 plus teams, but there's so many Division I schools, right, that it's like, okay, it's not going to be spread out between however many there are, 100, whatever. But the top 25, top 30, I think you're going to consistently get the same 15 that are going to be up there, and then you can swap out the other half periodically depending on how the transfer portals went, talent, acquisition, all those things. But I do think your Alabamas of the world, your Clemsons, your Ohio States, your Michigans, all of those guys are going to remain there. They're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to see Ohio State fall outside of the top 25, maybe ever again.
Okay.
Because of their recruiting power and then also because of what they can do in the transfer portal.
Sounds great.
So it will consolidate some of that stuff to those bigger programs, but I think it's also going to help bring some of those other ones in, like
the middlers.
Yeah, like we saw this last year, right? So,
okay. Question number 2, Ryan. And don't laugh at this. We have talked about college football being business. We have talked about it being a feeder for the NFL. We've talked about those things. Could college football ever separate entirely from universities and operate as a semi-professional league? Which it feels like it's becoming.
Could it? Yes. Will it? No.
Great.
Because I think there's just too much glued together with those universities and what that means, not only for the fans, but also for people that attend school there and have the school pride and everything that involves all that. You have a question there about traditions.
It's coming next.
Like
it's coming next. Segue.
I think there's just too much of that. Could they? Yes, absolutely, 100%.
And survive?
That I don't know.
Take away the university.
Yeah, I think they definitely could, but there's so much identity wrapped up in the university,
yes.
especially for alumni, but also for people that maybe didn't get an opportunity to go to college, where they can gravitate towards being a Penn State fan or being a Florida fan, or I work with a guy he didn't go to Clemson, but that's like his daughter is going to Clemson now.
Yep.
And that's like his whole identity.
Yep.
He won't even listen to an artist who is a former Gamecock that went to South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's how embedded he is in the Clemson atmosphere.
And I'll argue this. You can be an LSU fan and you can hate the Lane Kiffin hire. You can hate it and you can say, this is horse shit. I don't want to support them. Yeah. You know in the end who you're going to root for and who you're still going to follow? It doesn't matter that Lane Kiffin's there.
Go Tigers.
Correct. Remove the university, and I think some of that support goes with it. All right, number 3, segue. What tradition would hurt college football the most if it disappeared?
Ooh, I think the rivalries.
Yes.
I think if you you got your
Bama, Auburn,
yeah,
Penn State,
All
Ohio
of it.
State,
Yeah.
Ohio State, Michigan.
yeah,
Hell, even USC, Notre Dame,
right.
Texas, Oklahoma. Is that still a thing? That used to be a big one.
Sorry, I was trying to mess around with the music there.
That's all
It
right.
seemed a little too loud. But yeah, I think there's so many different rivalries, and I think there is even an argument in there to remove these stupid, useless conference games and make rivalry week one of the best weeks, right?
Segueing right into the next
and
one.
getting into those and making sure that we can, support those traditions and what makes it special. I mean, we always talk about like, man, what are the best rivalries in sports? And people are always like, well, for a long time it was the Yankees and the Red Sox, and then maybe it was the Packers and the Bears. But then a lot of those people think that the biggest rivalry in sports is Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Take that away. What do you have?
Okay, hold that right there. Next question. Should historic rivalries take precedence over conference scheduling requirements?
Ooh.
Yeah. I know where I'm at.
I think you always need the rivalries for sure, in my opinion. But on the flip side of that, being able to say that you have played the best in your conference is another important thing as well, right? So
Right.
having those requirements to play the people that are in your conference in order to prove that you belong there.
And I'll say keep in mind what they're now doing with scheduling, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it's fair game right now where everybody's saying, the hell with bringing talented teams in here. We're going to start with cakewalks.
Yeah.
We're going to start our seasons because it doesn't matter, and in the end, it only hurts us.
Yeah.
We can't make the playoffs because we play a great opponent and we lose early on. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I would argue. Oh, I'm not supposed to answer. That's right. I would say though this one's pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Rivalries stay over the conference scheduling requirements, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think you need to require teams to not have so many cakewalks within their schedule. Because the other flip side of that is if you look at teams like Texas and maybe even Florida last year, where it seems like every time you turned around they were playing a ranked opponent or somebody that was actually pretty decent, that's more exposure for them.
Correct.
That's more big noon Saturdays. That's more prime time games for them.
Yep.
Rather than playing St. Vincent St. Mary's School for the Deaf and Blind. Like, come on.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Here's one. Here's one that's going to literally separate the men from the boys, right? This is going to be the age identifier. This question drawn up just to separate, because you're going to see it generationally. You're going to have totally different answers. What matters more in building a successful program? Elite recruiting or elite coaching? Because I'm going to piggyback off this one, so there you go. Elite recruiting, elite coaching. Which matters more in building successful program?
To me, it's coaching. I think you can, and from what I've seen, not only in college but also in the pros, it was one of those deals where I was flabbergasted at how the hell Bill Belichick could turn what we all considered to be a very mid, like 2-star level guy in the NFL, and squeeze every bit of talent out of that guy. Signetti, who just
something
did it in
recent,
Indiana, right?
Bunch of 3-stars.
Yeah, I think Saban was a good kind of like in-betweener where he did a really good job of recruiting, but he also had enough talent to be able to squeeze every ounce of juice out of the guy that he needed to in order to make him the best possible way. So I think you can recruit all day, but if you don't have the buy-in from said recruit to want to come play for you and give everything that he's got, then it doesn't matter.
Okay. Right off the heels of that, what should be more important to a winning program? Winning championships or preserving traditions? This is where the age thing, there's generations, there's generation gaps in this that are going to answer this totally differently.
Yeah.
You winning a championship, Brian, or are you preserving a tradition?
Depending on who you are, but I would say that winning championships creates tradition. As a Packer fan, you do not get the name Titletown USA unless you win championships.
Right.
You do not create the tradition of Alabama football unless you dominate the sport for a decade and a half. Indiana, you create a tradition of being quite possibly one of the worst programs in NCAA football history. Now you are trying to switch that tradition with the Signetti era.
Okay.
So I think if you win championships, you change the culture, you change what the traditions are, and you become a positive winning tradition versus maybe what might have been a middle end. Like, I think a tradition of Iowa and Iowa fans that I talk to, listen, man, we're winning 9 games and getting to a bowl game every year. That's all we care about.
Right. Here's the example I'm going to give you. Alabama. They're not winning championships right now.
Yep.
But are they making the playoffs every year? Do they have a huge following?
They are.
Are they recruiting well?
But is that
are they
good
still
are
they
that
still
good enough,
recruiting good coaching?
Yeah. Is that good enough for the fan base, though?
I
would
don't
argue.
know.
I would argue it's not. The tradition of winning and what Saban did during his era, especially for those that, are maybe my age, that's what they expect. You expect Alabama to continue to win championships and be in that conversation, right? That's the tradition.
Okay.
It's the same conversation we've had with the Steelers. Is it good enough just to make the playoffs? You're the Steelers. You've won more Super Bowls than any other team in NFL history. Don't lower the bar. Like, come on.
Okay. Great stuff. So this one, a little bit of a reach for you, right? Because I'm going to say legendary college coaches, and you're going to go, ooh, I'm going to think about that for a minute. However, would legendary coaches have been as successful in today's transfer portal / NIL environment?
I would say no. And my biggest case for that are guys like Saban and guys like Dabo, who are older, who are a part of that older generation, who had a lot of success with the old way that college football did things. And now the new era has come in, and they're like, Saban's like, I'm getting out. I don't want any part of it. And even, Dabo was really against it, against the portal, against all that stuff, and now he's having to adapt or die type of thing.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I'm not saying that you couldn't learn how to do it, but if you're taking them and from that era and immediately transplanting them into this and say, figure this out, no, they're going to fail.
But right, and I think you're talking about coaches back at that time that when they brought you in as a freshman, because you weren't portal.
You were there for 8 years.
Right. When they brought you in as a freshman at that time,
yep,
you started a Nittany Lion, you finished a Nittany Lion. That's the way it was. There was never going to be a question. Yeah. Don't do it. I thought you were going Sandusky on me. I saw that look on your face.
No, I was going to say, and then imagine how those coaches would have to deal with the players of today and their entitlement, where you were kind of going with where.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's where I don't think these coaches would have tolerated it, because it was a system, and this is our system, and we're recruiting you to fit our system, and you're going to fit our system, and that's it. You're either going to see meaningful minutes or you're not, depending on how you fit the system.
Right.
So I don't think they would have near the success.
Yeah,
I'm with you. All right. Let's see. I'm going to leave that alone because I don't even want to get into that. We covered this one in the baseball. The question was, how much responsibility should coaches have for players' behavior off the field?
Oh, yeah.
I'm leaving that alone.
No,
Move on.
I don't. I think very little, unless they're directing their players to do said things off field.
Which do you believe is harder, Ryan? Sustaining success or rebuilding a struggling program? Yeah.
This was the one question on there that I couldn't really come up with a firm answer, just because I think it's incredibly hard to continue to win a championship no matter what sport you're in. So you talk about success, but then again, it depends on what your definition of success is. Go back to the Iowa conversation. Is your definition of success winning 9 games every year?
Understood.
Sure.
Great point.
Okay. Is it winning a championship every year? But then you look at the Indianas of the world. They've existed for how many years and never even come close?
Right.
And now the rules change and you get the right guy hired, and all of a sudden he rebuilds this program to a championship level. I'd say that's incredibly hard to overcome all of that failure and everything that preceded it.
With a lot of help from money and donors.
Correct.
A lot.
Yeah. I always think trying to stay relevant and keeping the ship going is the hardest thing, because if there's going to be a fall off, people leave, people quit, people die, like just life in general happens.
Right.
And to overcome those things and continue with success, I think is definitely why I look at like what, and I know I talk NFL because I know more about it than I do college for a lot of things, but like watching what the Patriots did for like 18 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
You know, that's like a once in a lifetime experience that we got to live through. which is why I'm real hesitant to say that the Chiefs will be able to do that, because I know how hard that stuff is to do, right?
Yeah.
Or even some of these other teams that have won, where they're like, oh, or what we're witnessing with the Dodgers in baseball, right? We ever get to see anything like this again? Sustained success. I think it's tough. It's tough in a league where everybody's out to get you.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's more. I'm saving them. They're too good. I'm saving them.
They're too good.
I think this we'll come up with a name.
So humble.
This can be they're good questions. They're going to be thought provokers, and I got to save the good stuff, man.
I had written out Kelly's quick questions, but it was all spelled with a K.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, not great.
We got to come up with a name for that, because we can tie something in. We can tie a little segment in. So I'm saving these right here on my other stack.
Yeah,
they're going to be right here.
Nice.
We're gonna get.
It's gonna be a big stack here after a while.
It's exciting. That's kind of goosebumpy moment.
Ooh,
right man, I tell you.
Very good. Good questions, man. Good work. Appreciate that.
Good answer. Solid.
Appreciate.
I actually expected some different answers from you.
Really?
Yeah, because you're not as much into college football as I have been, right? But there's a pretty big age difference between the two of us. And I'm a tradition guy. I'm a culture guy. I'm all about that stuff. And generally, the younger population, for the most part, like the question about winning championships or sustaining traditions. The win now mentality in the younger generation of people, the younger generations of fans. I mean, a lot of people are coming on and they're following teams. Why? Because they're winning, because they're successful. I'm an Ohio State fan all of a sudden because, man, Ohio State, they're in the playoffs every year. What the hell was that?
Sorry.
What was that?
Sorry.
What was that? Anyway, I was expecting some different stuff from you in terms of that, but you kind of fell into the old guy.
Hey,
you kind of fell into the old guy.
Like we said before we started recording, I'm a little bit of an old soul.
Yeah. You kind of fell into the old guy with some of those, so you kind of surprised me with a little bit of that. So anyway, good answers.
Here is, as of, when did this just dropped? Okay.
Oh, Aaron Donald.
Say that I do have some information that might be considered as some knowledge that others might not have. But I'm not going to tell it all. You got to watch more of the Locked On Rams show to get some of that. But I will say this. My guy is staying ready so he doesn't have to get ready. And I'm going to just leave the audience with that so we can get some more viewers.
What a clickbait. That's a phenomenal approach right there.
It is great.
Phenomenal approach.
But don't say I didn't tell you so.
You are turning the Rams fandom upside down on their head right now.
Yeah, don't say I didn't tell you so. So, yeah. He's heard that 99, who is Aaron Donald, might actually end retirement to play with Myles Garrett. He says, I have some knowledge that others may not have. My guy's staying ready so he doesn't have to get ready. Oh, man.
This might be...
Man, I feel so like vindicated in this. Now, it's not official yet. Obviously, anything could happen, but...
Come on.
I think it's funny that less than 24 hours after we're talking about it, it's already being a thing.
Looks like a duck. Yeah. Walks like a duck. You know the whole rest, right? Yeah. I mean, the guy's posting stuff on Instagram of him working out. This guy's coming on.
Hashtag ready in all of his Instagram posts.
See, we're going to have to check back on this every episode. Similar to what we did with the Colorado Rockies in their miserable, freaking dismal season. We are going to have to check in. Aaron Donald watch. That's what we're doing. Aaron Donald watch.
Yeah.
80 watch.
Pat McAfee read an apparent text exchange between him and Donald that seemed to confirm that the future Pro Hall of Famer defensive lineman hasn't shut the door on running things back. McAfee said that Donald wrote him that the Garrett trade for sure got him thinking. Reciting the back and forth, McAfee read back the next line from Donald. 35, removed 2 years. Got to see if that fire can light back up again.
Here we go. Here
we go. Oh, man. You got to love it. Ridiculous. Friggin' LA.
I didn't hear the odds. How much did the odds swing in favor of the Rams with Garrett trade? Because here's what I'm going to say. I picked them, right, as my proposed 1 seed in the NFC this year. And that's before the Garrett thing. But how much did the odds swing? And then what will it look like if Donald comes out of retirement to rejoin them? We've got to pay attention to that.
They moved to clear Super Bowl favorites after Myles Garrett trade, so coming off a loss in the NFC Championship game, yada, yada, yada. The Rams entered Monday as plus 800 favorites, slightly ahead of the Seahawks, who were at 900. The Seahawks at 850, 900. After the deal, they moved to plus 600, and the Seahawks fell to an 11-1 sportsbook odds, so they moved up quite a bit.
Oh, man.
So a lot of people had the Rams at 11.5 wins for the season. I'm sure they're probably closer. How many wins does Garrett give them? At least one? At least one?
Multiple.
It's hard for me to say that a non-quarterback gives you more than one win.
I don't know. Strip sack, third down stop.
I'm just talking about for the odds.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. I'm with you, but multiple.
Because I think your superstar quarterbacks typically account for like 2.5 to 3 extra wins. So what is a guy like that? That's why I'm kind of going a little bit lower, like 1.5.
See, weren't you just in Vegas? Man, you should have dropped a pile on the Rams.
No, I go to Vegas next month.
Yeah, but Garrett's there now.
Oh yeah.
Drop that down before Garrett trade happens, and then Aaron Donald comes back.
Yeah, crazy.
Can't change the odds on what you bet.
It's true. All right, good stuff. Good show. That was fun. A lot of fun. See what happens when they give us stuff to talk about. We got so much good content.
I'm exhausted.
It's great stuff. If you want to be a part of the show, you can definitely do that. You can leave a comment. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can be a part of the show as well when you email into the armchairauthority@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, Father's Day is coming up. You can get a t-shirt, TeePublic. Links in the description. You can get a little Armchair Authority t-shirt. So that is available to you there. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter for all the latest updates on what's going on with the episode drops and some other stuff like that. So yeah, thank you guys for coming along on this ride today. Just good fun stuff. I can't believe we're 2 months away from football. Let's just enjoy summer while we got it, because it'll be over before we know it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Kelly, good luck taking your boy to school this week. It's gonna be a big deal.
I'm gonna be strong.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Who am I kidding?
Well,
who am I kidding?
Tell him we give him the best of luck. He's gonna do great. You'll have to fill us in once he starts playing in the fall and see what's going on over there. So
yeah,
that'll be good.
It's gonna be good.
You guys be safe out there, and we will talk to you next week.
They know the game, but they're keeping it fun. Poking fun at the stats, they're second to none. From fantasy leagues to the locker room jokes.